Hello, welcome back for our third episode of Champions of the Fae. I'm really excited to play again with this group. It's been a blast so far, and I have no doubt today is also going to be a ton of fun. Before we jump in, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors, and then I'll hand it over to Andy to go ahead and do intros for us. So our sponsors are, let me just get that into chat there. Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. Currently, you can pick up the physical book, which looks like this. You can pick this up on Amazon, or if you prefer a PDF copy, you can pick that up at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. And you can also, at that site, at coffee.com/raven, you can pick up a 100% free quick play guide, so you can actually test the system out before you buy the whole book. So very cool stuff there. And then also Die Hard Dice. If you head over to dieharddice.com, you can find some of the best metal and polymer dice sets and accessories that you're likely to find. I use them almost exclusively in my dice bag. If you use the code FUNRPG, all capital letters, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And then currently, I highly recommend checking out the Ember. I'm probably butchering the name, but it's either Kazan or Kazan set. They are metal, and they are some of the prettiest dice I've ever seen. You can see that there in the camera. They've got like these little scales on them. Anyways, the 7-piece set I've got sitting right here. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun to roll, so I definitely recommend checking that out. And if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network, or over on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Black Feather Guild, and we'll pop right up. And with that out of the way, I will go ahead and pass it on over to our fantastic DM to introduce everybody and take it away.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So last time we got into a bit of a fight, and we're going to get right back into that in just a second. But let's do some character introductions first and talk a little bit about who we are, remind everybody who we are playing, and a little bit about yourself. Let's start over here with Zan. Who are you? What do you got for us?
Well, I, Zan, am a person who does really cool tabletop game stuff with really cool people in really wonderful places. You can catch me here. You can also catch me over on a Tactics channel every so often, and a few places coming up. You can also find me over on the Faustian Nonsense network, where we just finished the full script for the first season of Super Suits, which is going to be a podcast that I will be in starting real soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I am playing Sking, who is the the nice, reasonable, level-headed, non-aggressive one out of our group. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, he's a ascended dragon, Fey scale dragonborn, and is a little aggressive sometimes.
Perfect. Everybody needs that level-headed friend. Next up, let's do the transient. Goo Honey, who are you? What do you have for us? You are muted.
That'll work. I was trying to cover that license plate back there. Hi, I'm Goo Honey, also known as X the Transient. I'm a currently freelance illustrator. Tonight I will be taking back on the role of Amira Ash, a cursed dryad with an affinity for the undead, and kind of rolling with some darker spores. So excited to be back this week and see where the story goes.
Let's go with Emily Timberdoodles. Who do you have for us, and what do you do?
Yeah, I'm Emily. I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist, and I play Reverie, a swashbuckling tiefling rogue, who has totally done nothing wrong. I don't know what the deal was with those tooth fairy guards, and I am really excited to see where we go after this werewolf business, where I was almost completely useless. That was really fun, though.
Well, maybe next time.
Had to get creative.
Definitely. And I think you did a really, really good job. Paraprofessional is out for today, unfortunately, as playing Dram Loomis. He is feeling under the weather, might be jumping in with us in a little bit, depending on how he's feeling. But right now, let's continue over to Archival Dustbun. Who are you? What do you have for us? Who are you playing?
Hey there, I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. And you can also find me as cast and crew over on Response Team Omnicron. I play Ruliuela, who is a Selkie cold water sorcerer. Both the race and subclass are from the Champions and Children of the Fae supplement. She has a lot of energy. And it's not emotionally fragile at all. But it's been doing a lot of really creative things, like sticking people up in trees during combat. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Me too. That's been certainly a play. And finally, Raven, who are you? And who are you playing for us tonight?
I am Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or adjacent. You can find all my stuff there at my link tree, which is in chat. You can also check out my stuff at my coffee, which is, again, at the bottom of the screen. And then I play Jinx, who is a sprite. She's about 6 inches tall, rides a raven around everywhere, and is a Raven Queen patron warlock. And I was describing her in Discord earlier as equal parts Adam Savage, Steve Irwin, and Pinkie Pie, just without the responsibility or preservation of life and limb, essentially. So she's chaos and a lot of fun to play.
Wonderful. Oh man, this group is so fun. I am Andy Martinez. I am Martinez Tweets, Martinez Streams on Twitch, on Twitter. Do a bunch of different things, from TTRPGs to video games to science education. And let's jump in. We can talk more about all of that later. So, last time we were spending a little bit of time exploring the forests of Elassidir. After being summoned from your various realms within the Feywilds and brought to the city of Mayahea, the Summer Queen's court, you were talked to by King Oberyn, who is at a loss for everything, because, again, the realms have been merged somehow. The ones that we were usually separate are now together. And on top of that, bits and pieces of them have flown to the sky. Some of these were more devastating than others, and they are all on the move. You are on the mission to find several of these and figure out what's going on, why it's happening, because the one person who might be as powerful to figure this up does not have the willpower about him currently to do so. So he's asked you all to figure out what's going on. On your mission, looking through the forests of Elassidir, looking for any clues, any hints, you stumbled upon Hunera's Hearth. And after meeting several different characters there, including Hunera herself, and 2 centaurs from the realm of Nymphindor, Carlisle and Jensen, who told you about their mission and what they were here for. Traveling from the realm of Nymphindor, their main goal is to protect the realms and to stop any evil beasts, specifically any were creatures or shapeshifters that might be trying to take territory that isn't theirs rightfully. Now, traveling on, you figured out that they had already captured one of these and dispatched of it. And as you were traveling on to the city of Iris, the Sprite Village, they were also going that same direction. And that's where we pick up right now. As you have all just finished a fight, this Fomorian alpha werewolf was hunting you the entire time. And after just defeating it in combat, where some of you were more useful than others, because again, werewolves are tough. Eventually, though, you were able to dispatch it with the help of Carlisle and Jen, and that is where we pick up right now. If you would like to still do anything here, it is nighttime. As you can see, there is still a full moon above you. You've been traveling for a while. This whole thing, since you've left the city, feels like it's just been one really, really, really long day. You do know you are in the middle of the forest at the moment. You're a couple hours away from Hunera's Hearth, and you know that you still have a little bit of a trek to go before you meet the Sprite Village. What would you like to do?
Excuse me. It's a good
Well,
question.
if we're taking just a second, I think Baskin is going to stop and survey the area. This seems like a very important thing that we've done, and is gonna just take out a little quill and open up the notebook. And dear aunties, we killed weird werewolf giant thing. Got some goodies. Past the crossroads, going on to Elfton, or the name of the town that the player has currently forgotten. Elfrid,
For which one?
the town that we're on the way to, the settlement that we're going.
So the Sprite City is named
Yes.
Iris, but it is spelled
Iris.
like Iris.
Iris. Okay, I was going to say going to Iris. Talk soon, and then just a smiley face. Close the
Okay.
book.
As you write this, you start to close your book as you see your words fade away into the page itself. As immediately, when you're closing it, you start to see scribbling form again. As you whip the book open, and the words scrawled on there say, "It's been over 1 week. Where have you been? This is a lot of information. Keep me posted. Gather what you can." And then they fade away again.
Huh. Well, that's fucking weird. Okay. Hey, everyone, just so we're aware, it's been like more than a week since we really kind of left and started this. I don't know. I don't really feel very tired, but I think the Feywilds are doing their weird time again.
So, what you do remember a little bit, because the Feywild is very weird with time, especially when you have an archfey that has kidnapped you, essentially. So, when you were summoned by King Oberyn, the scroll, because some people took many more days than others, you, Baskin, being the first one to use the scroll, were gone for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize that. I think you just assumed that some people had to have breakfast first or something. Not
Yeah.
wait 3 days doing other stuff. Yeah.
So, as far as checking in, it's been a few days for you.
Whoops.
I think Jinx, upon hearing that, it probably just sort of swoops down close to Baskin, and it's like week, day, month. It's what is time really? No, really, I don't really understand time. What can you explain the week thing?
No,
She's just
I-
like staring at Baskin.
No, I cannot. No, there is only one day of the week that is worth the other days, and that is that is Gumbo Day, and Gumbo Day happens whenever Gumbo Day will happen, and it is great day, and it is the best day of the week, but it will be whatever fucking day until Gumbo Day happens again.
So, how many Gumbo days has it been since they heard from you then?
None.
Well, then what's the problem? That seems like a normal amount of time.
That's the only day of the week. That's not the only day. Whatever. It's not important. It's been a little while. Can we? Should we?
I am very confused.
Me too. I
am
don't
also
understand time.
convinced.
It's either like light time or dark time. That's about all I really care about.
Yeah, we don't really have that deep down in the ocean.
Is it like dark time or other dark time?
It can be. Some Silkies live further towards the surface, but my rookery is rather deep. That's where I get a lot of my magic from. But
That explains why it sounds so spooky. Not
it,
that I'm complaining. I quite
it
like
can
it.
be, especially in the deep below. There are terrifying things down there.
Sounds like pretty deep
Interesting.
magic.
Well, and the ocean currents shift sometimes, but that's usually not a day-to-day thing. That's like a season-to-season thing.
But regardless, we should probably get going.
As you're having this conversation, Jen is kind of just standing around, listening in, looking at each of you explain your different thoughts on time. Not saying anything, but just watching each of you. As you say it's time to get going, and Jen just silently nods and turns off and starts to walk down. Would you like to do a break right now, or like sleep anywhere, or are you just going to keep walking through the night?
I would say, Jen, hold on a moment. I think before carrying on, after all, if we encounter another enemy, I don't know that all of us will be able to fight as efficiently.
As you say that, they kind of look back and look down at their own, shrug and turn back. And then you see them just kind of turn next to a tree and spin 2-3 times and just sit.
I like to do a nature check to see if any ash trees are within the vicinity or somewhere I could sense, perhaps by talking to the trees themselves.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and roll a nature check and see if you can find some ash trees.
Scroll all the way to the bottom. 12.
Thank you so much to, I am probably going to butcher this name, but Urail15 for the $20 donation. Very much appreciated. Please let us know in chat if you would like that to go to an asset, which will give the party something very useful, like a get out of this horrible situation for free card, or a one-use item, or something like that, or a challenge, which means the DM gets to up the difficulty of the session for us, which can manifest in a number of ways. But yeah, just let us know in chat. Thank you so much.
All right. So yeah, great. Excellent. Thank you. So with the 12, it takes you maybe a little bit longer than you would have liked. Ash trees aren't super common here in this realm, but they do exist. And it's a little bit off the path, but you are able to find one. Yeah. Anybody else looking to do anything right now before you get taking a long rest here?
I think once I know where that ash tree is, I will go to it and use Arboreal Rest, kind of touch it and step into the tree, taking a long rest. And Arboreal Rest lets me do it for 4 hours instead of 8.
Perfect. Then you are in an ash tree, and you're feeling at home. It's very, very nice in there.
I would like to look for, so we're in the middle of the woods, some sort of dip or crevasse. If it's a rock with a big dip in it, that would be great. Something like that, just like a big bowl.
A big bowl. Yeah, you can definitely find something like that. There's not an even ground around here. So it's not super hard to find little divots. But depending on how comfortable or stealthy you might want to be, you can roll an investigation check and find a really, really good.
Yeah, I'll do an investigation check. Get these dice rolling. Ooh, I'm not good at this.
Or survival. I'll give you survival as well.
Well, survival would have been only one more. So.
Well, you're able to find a couple of divots, but they are not as stealthy as you might like. So they're comfortable. There's a lot of nice ferns on the ground, but they're not particularly hidden.
That's okay. So I'm going to, as I stand over this, draw water out of my sealskin, and I'm going to use Create Water to fill this with water.
Wonderful.
Fill it with seawater. And then I'm going to look at the rest of the party and just say, good night. And I'm going to pull the head portion of my sealskin up over my head and just kind of in a burst of sea spray, really is a seal, a leopard seal. And she just kind of settles down into the seawater that is here.
Love that.
That's really good. Any other bedtime rituals?
Baskin is going to find a cozy looking tree and sit down with his back against it and get Lychee nearby and go,
Okay, look at here. Okay, I know where the score is right now. I understand, but tonight you will take the first rest. You take the first rest. I know you'll be grumpy and it will be fine, and then wake me up when you're tired, and I'll take over.
and will almost immediately just pass out. And after a moment or two of Baskin being asleep and Lychee just looking around menacingly, I guess would be the appropriate term, will kind of walk a little bit closer to Baskin and like lean against him just a little bit.
Jinx doesn't have to sleep and seldom blinks, so she's basically gonna sit on a branch on the ground and just like stare at a member of the party, just completely unblinking, very disconcertingly. And then every so often she'll just, stretch and shift a little bit out of the blue and stare at a different member of the party while she's resting.
Oh boy, that's disconcerting.
Yeah, referee is going to try and find a place not too far off the path and not too far from the group, but some place where the natural foliage gives a nice little hiding spot out of direct staring range where he can kind of settle into sleep.
She's just staring at the spot where like the tree that you went behind or something like that. She's just in your general direction. She just sits there and stares blankly.
It's like I can't see it yet somehow it feels like it's so uncomfortable.
The little quirk that I took is like, the description in the book was like, "You've blinked once last week." That was the quirk.
Oh boy, that's very fitting for Jinx, I think.
Yeah.
All right. And as everybody settles down for the night, Carlisle also comes over and sits next to Jen as the night progresses. And it's nice. Jinx, as the one who is pretty much awake the entire time, you have a lot to watch as the night progresses. And sitting in one spot, normally you all have been on the move in the forest and not just waiting in one zone. And you've been here your entire life, essentially, Jinx. There's a lot going on at night. There are bioluminescent insects that are flying around. There are mushrooms that pop up out of the ground, like little, depending on if you want to play the game or not, little like whack-a-moles that the mushroom bloop, 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 bloop. And there's birds that are starting to sing. There's so many stars out in the sky. It's a really pretty place. And you have so many people around that you notice that there's maybe a couple of things off in the distance that poke their nose in, maybe start to look around, but then clock that there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even more. It's a pretty nice night as everybody has a full long rest, whatever you need. Within 4 hours, Amira, you feel completely rested. If you are emerging, you can stick around for a little bit though, and depending on what you want to do. But I think, the night goes on without a hitch, really. Unless there's anything in particular you want to do at night.
No, I think I'd see Jinx staring at everyone and not wanting to be part of that. I'd stay in the tree and enjoy my peace for a bit.
I don't blame you. And with that, you all do complete a long rest for the first time, I think, officially. Congratulations.
Awesome.
As you all wake up in the next morning, the moon is gone. As Carlisle and Jen both awaken, and It's nice. It is a pretty morning as all of you awake, and there's birds that are chirping. There's little black birds with little specks of reds and greens that stick up from their crests as they're chipping around. No more mushrooms right now. As you look around, Jinx, all of the ones that you were seeing in the night are gone. But there's the morning life happening. As the day is yours. You are a few hours travel from the city of Iris. What would you like to do?
I think just before everyone would normally wake up. So, not before they've had the benefits of a full rest, but a little bit before perhaps they get out of bed, Jinx just starts fluttering around like, "Hey, everybody, come on! It's been forever! Wake up! I've had to stare at you all night. You're really boring when you sleep. Except for that one." And she like points to Boskin's like, "You make funny noises when you sleep."
I do not understand what you are talking about. I sleep. I do not know what you do. Would you do hear things when you stay awake? That's weird. I sleep like a normal thing.
I don't, I'm just saying, like, I was sitting here watching, and then you were just like, and it was a funny noise.
No, that sounds like something someone with lips would make. I cannot do that. I do not have lips.
Maybe it was somebody else. It sounded like it was coming from your direction. Might have been somebody
You are
else.
fucking wrong. It was not me. I was not soaring.
Jinx just shrugs and goes about her business.
I didn't realize you take your sleep so seriously, Boskin.
I take everything very seriously.
This is true. This is true.
As everyone's getting up, really kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen a seal move, but they do kind of like this caterpillar thing. So she comes up out of the little pool that she's made. And as she's going across the ground, it almost looks like her skin loosens a bit, and then she just stands up with it draped around her shoulders. Good morning, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Well,
morning.
that happened.
What?
As you do that,
Something
you see Carlisle's just like, wait. You guys are so interesting. You're a seal. Huh. I guess, and he looks down at his own legs. Well, okay, fair. And
You're a horse.
he starts to turn away. And Jen walks over to everybody and has already made a little bit of breakfast this morning, as they have actually gathered some stuff. They woke up a little bit early. There are a handful of eggs. There's some mushrooms that they collected that have been roasted for you if you are interested.
So I am guessing that the fish that I took from the tavern were not magical, so did not remain living through our trek.
Unfortunately, it is food now.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Not a magic fish. However, well, I guess not quite yet. There is a river nearby, but not that close yet.
I will eat the remainder of my fish from the tavern, but
Yeah, I think Jinx will take, I think she's got a dagger. She'll cut off a hunk of the mushroom. Since she's only like 6 inches tall, it's like half the size of her. Just starts eating the mushroom.
It's surprisingly sweet. It's roasted, but it kind of tastes like caramely in a way. It's pretty good. Kind of like a nice caramel plantain almost is the kind of the
Sounds
feel that this
amazing.
is. Yeah, it's a really nice roasted mushroom. And as everybody finishes up breakfast and whatever else you need to do, anything else before you get going?
Was-
I would find a patch of sunlight to kind of stand and bask in, since I don't gotta eat.
I was gonna say if Jinx got close enough to Reverie while they were doing their wake up call, he'd probably kind of whip his tail at her. But but miss by just enough that you could probably that maybe he probably missed on purpose. But was kind of annoyed.
Jinx probably like does gust at Reverie in response, just like blows a bunch of wind at their little sleeping spot.
He just kind of rolls his eyes. Ugh. Goes to join the rest of them for breakfast.
I will walk over to wherever Lychee is. Like, good morning, and I will offer Lychee my last fish.
I think he would look at you like trying to discern your motive, and then would descend upon the fish in brutal carnage. Just scales flying comically above and behind his head, some just on the top of his skull with no clear reason why.
Let's see. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. And I'll turn around and go back to the group.
Thank you, the Great Rafiki, for the 10,000 guild coins to redeem an advantage for Ruli.
Nice.
It was nice of you to cook us this meal, Jen, even though not all of us will partake in it. It was still thoughtful. Have you put any consideration considering in continuing to go with us after we leave here, the next town?
As you ask that, they look at you. And then they look over at Carlisle, who is currently just stuffing his face, and looks up at the sky.
Has he ever said thank you to you, Jen?
They put a hand on Carlisle's shoulder, who looks up and, oh, what? Yeah, of course. Thanks. Yeah, of course. They know. Thanks, Jen. Goes back to eating. As Jen looks and still doesn't say anything, but looks over at you and.
Well, the offer still stands until we take our leave from there. You'd be a great help to us.
They nod.
I'll also nod, listening to the whisper of the spores on my shoulder.
As you all finish up breakfast. Now it is a little bit of a walk before you make it to the city, or to the town at least. But you have at least one companion who knows exactly where you're going. Now there's not a difficult path on the way there. So as you all gather all of your things, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you continue down the path. And after a couple of hours, well, you see a lot of stuff happening. And as you continue to travel through the woods, the plants start to get more and more dense. The foliage starts to get more and more overgrown, and the plants themselves start to change colors from vibrant light greens to more darker greens and bright reds. You can see that there's a lot more blues and purples in the flowers as you start to go further down this path. And after a couple of hours of seeing not really any animals other than the birds, there's so many birds in this forest, and more plants, you end up looking at this massive archway that kind of takes over to the entirety of the path in front of you. And from what you see, this is an archway that is made up of canopy tree leaves and branches. So these branches that are kind of reaching up and over, and it goes all the way back, kind of forming a thick, dense tunnel of trees that continue on that path. And you can see this it's still off about 30 or 40 feet in front of you, maybe even more than that, but you are approaching this. And Jinx, you know that through this archway, another 40 minutes or so, or maybe even less than that, is your hometown. You're on the way.
Ooh,
You
this
also
is
know
really
that
pretty.
there are probably some guards around.
Okay, everybody. So, that archway means that we're not too far from my hometown. Yay! Also,
really pretty.
there's thank you. It is pretty. I like the area. It's just the, you know, maybe the people are a little uptight. Is all. Speaking of which, there's probably guards around, so we should probably not do anything too chaotic.
Like randomly shooting, randomly shooting cups in pubs.
I seem to remember them
Yeah.
being after you, Reverie.
Yeah.
The silence
Yeah,
is so
they-
telling.
I guess they did, didn't they? Well,
I don't know why so many people dislike you all. I like you.
Oh, thanks. I like you too, really.
that's appreciated.
Indeed.
I mean, what's not to like?
As a lot of you get closer and closer to the arch, when you get about, you're just approaching it. When you get about 20, yeah, what's up?
As we start to creep in there, like get near the area, and you know, if there's gonna be guards nearby, Baskine's gonna try to like duck off a little bit and maybe try to stealth along the edge of the trees.
Okay, make a stealth check for me.
That is a 24.
That is excellent. That's a very good stealth check. Yeah, as you dive away from the group and kind of disappear into the brambles that are over there, watching from a distance a little bit and kind of off to the edge as everybody else moves forward, unless anybody else is doing anything.
Oh
As
yeah,
you-
I'm
yeah.
stealthing this time as well.
Okay. Are you
Wanna
hiding off to
avoid-
the edge, or where are you going?
Kind of off to the edge, and if all else fails, you know, we have the official business pin. So,
Fair. Go ahead and make a stealth check if you're
oh,
You're stealthing.
9.
okay. Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, for Jinx.
I'm trying to see what all I can do with minor illusion. With minor illusion, do you know, just off the top of your head, can I make it look like a person walking?
I believe so. Yeah, you can't have any noise to it.
Okay.
But
I think Jinx will just have like notices that, you know, some of the party are sneaking off, and we'll just have like a minor illusion of Reverie walking with the party, and then we'll change it to Boskine and just sort of randomly cycle through party members who are stealthing
okay.
just for kicks and giggles.
All right. So let's see how they feel about that. Okay, great. Amira was also going to do something, I think.
Especially seeing Jinx do this, I will pull the cloak out of my bag and put it on, put the hood up. Pull in my halo of spores, which will kind of just look like a glittering dusting on the black cloak, kind of like starshine in the sunlight. I'll use it to hide me a little bit, just in case those guards get angry about their Reverie and Boskine illusions.
Okay. All right. You notice that Carlisle and Jen don't do anything different. They're just walking straight ahead.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm completely oblivious to everything the party's doing.
And as the three of you, or four of you, get within about 15 feet of this archway, you quickly see that there are two little sprites that jump out essentially of the top here, and they hovering around your head. You can see that they're both armed with bow and arrows, and they have little blades at their side. As one of them immediately knocks an arrow, but doesn't aim it at anybody, as the other one reaches up and puts their hand on their side and says, "Okay, who are you? What are you doing here? Okay, centaurs. We see centaurs. Seen those before.
Oh, how
heck?
cute. Are you a butterfly? I'll hold up my hand like the meme to see if it'll land on my hand.
As soon as you put your hand up, the other one points their bow directly at you. Don't move. They point. Okay. Poof. The other pulls their blade out and starts to point it at you guys. Back up. We know that they're fine. And points over at Carlisle and Jen. But who the heck? And looks over, points directly at you, Reverie. Get out of there! Come back! Get over here! What the heck is that? And they look over at the minor illusion that's happening. Okay, who's doing that?
Huh? Who's doing what? Does Jinx happen to know
Jinx,
these
as soon
people?
as you speak, they look over and they lock eyes with you, and let's see if they recognize you. They do not.
Does Jinx recognize them?
Roll a history check.
All right. It doesn't have a ton of bearing on what Jinx is going to do, but it's going to change whether or not it's a persuasion or a deception roll, really, is all it comes down to. So it's a
Okay,
15.
You do recognize the one that's been speaking. They're not one of the top guards, but they've been around for a little bit. Their name is Frank, and they've been chilling for a bit. The other one you don't recognize, but you know that Frank can be agreeable sometimes, but can also be a grump.
I think Jinx is just going to look over and be like, "Hi, Frank. It's Jinx. Honestly, what would your mother say if she knew you were out here harassing visitors coming into our city?"
Harassing of course. Welcome back, Jinx. Okay, so are you all with we're not harassing you, by the way. Whatever. I don't need to explain myself to you.
I mean,
Jinx
it
is
seemed
like
like harassing.
flying in the air, like with her wings, but as like the position of being like, curled up on the floor laughing, and is just giggling quietly at Frank.
I have to agree. You're being very mean to people here on the business of King Oberyn.
Yeah, you wouldn't even land on my hand. That doesn't seem very nice.
Well, I didn't know what you were going to do with that. I guess, did you say King Oberyn?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Tell me more.
Official business.
You got any proof?
I hold
will
up.
show the yeah.
Yeah, Jinx does at the same
immediately
time
holds
too.
up the pen.
As you show those symbols, they okay.
Hope it was Captain Planet style too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with that, Frank puts their blade away, and the other one releases their arrow and puts it back. Baskin, as you were off in the distance watching all of this happen, you take a look and are surveying the scene, as you know that Reverie has been called out. You know that the minor illusion has been seen through, and as you look up, you see another 2 sprites hanging out in the trees above you. They don't seem to notice that you are there, though. They are armed as well, though, and that you are underneath them, essentially. But they do not see you. That is your view of what's happening currently. As the rest of you are kind of led through, just into the archway. Okay, let's go then. You, Jinx, you know the way. You guys can just okay. See you later. And then the both of them fly off into the archway.
Bye.
Yeah, see, they're kind of uptight. Sorry about that. It's this way. We can go. And she'll
After you.
start reluctantly heading into town.
I'm skipping after Jinx. I can't wait to see where you're from.
I will look in the general vicinity of Basking, then kind of tilt my head and follow the other ones, kind of as a let's go, without giving your position away.
Are the sprites above me moving at all, or are they just having a nice little time?
They are not moving. They look like they were also hiding from everybody. And what you are gathering is that there are more than just those two guards. These are also guards that were monitoring and around if something were to happen.
I think in that case, Basquiat will just go,
Okay, cool. I was hiding, but there are way too many of you guys, and I'm just gonna go walk down the street after my friends. Yeah, it's me. You know what I look like now. Trying to avoid that. Whoopsie, won't do it again. I promise.
As you walk out from underneath this tree that these two did not know you were in, you do spook them a little bit, and say you hear a little like from above you. One of them, what the? Are you with? Okay, just a second. He flies down right in front of you. Are you with those guys?
Yes, I am.
Why
with
were you
you.
hiding?
Well, obviously because I did not want to be seen. That is a very silly question.
But you just.
Well, yeah, because I am sure that there's a. I realized that you did not want to be seen, and there are probably many more of you than there are me. So.
Yeah, we're everywhere. And he flies off.
So are these, little one?
You hear from the trees, okay. And that's it. You don't see them anymore. But both of them are gone as you run off and catch up with everybody else. And as you all travel through the rest of this pathway, it gets a lot darker. It gets a lot more dense. And really, part of you actually wakes up a little bit as you can sense that there is running water, actually, somewhere getting closer to you. You don't see it yet, but you can tell that it is off towards the east, a little bit towards your right, somewhere that direction. There is somewhat running water that you are getting closer to. And as you all are all traveling, you notice that coming up from the ground, you see little specks of green crystals that are only about half an inch to an inch long. They pop up every couple of yards or so. There's just a speckling of them as they get closer and closer to the city. After about half an hour of walking, you end up at the city of Iris itself. Now, the city is inside of a massive tree. And that's the first thing that catches your eyes as you exit this tunnel of plants and see in this clearing a massive tule tree. And this tree is almost, it seems, wider than it is tall. It looks like, who's the biggest of you? Who's the tallest? Because I know it's not a few of you, but maybe let's use Jen as a, because Jen's pretty big. You could fit front to back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 Jens, like front to back. That's how wide this tree is. It is about 30 to 40 feet wide and stands about 60 to 70 feet tall. And looking at it, you can see that there is off in the left bottom corner a very, very deep, dark burn mark that looks like it goes inside of the tree itself. And Jinx, you know that that is where you're from. Looking on the outside, you see that there are a handful of structures. There are looking like very, very small structures. There's a couple of mushrooms that look like they're sticking out of this large burn mark that's at the bottom of this tree. The burn mark itself, from where you are, looks like it's about 6 or so feet tall and about 2.5 feet wide. So you guys can theoretically fit in there, but it is not necessarily built for large creatures, or maybe even medium-sized creatures.
Okay. Is that burn mark new, or has it been there a long time? Like,
so that burn mark has been there a very long time,
Okay.
and you know that this, as far as you're aware, that's the ecosystem of your town, and this tree itself is a druid. This is, or not a druid, a dryad rather. This is Sylvia's tree. So the city of Iris is both inside and outside of this tree that is the dryad known as Sylvia, who, by the way, is, remembering from last time, the soul of the forest is what she is known as. So she is very nurturing and caring and very, very into taking care of all of the plants and animals that live here, which is perfect for the sprites that are in her grove.
Okay. Would Jinx know how to talk with her? And also, would Jinx, I imagine she probably would, know, like, the best, like, tavern or something like that where non-sprite-sized people could get things?
Yes. So as far as the meeting Sylvia herself, Sylvia is around. She, unlike Hunera, where you can now go inside of her tree, Sylvia's more like every other druid, where it's just her in there. But she does emerge and she does wander around. She does engage with the city, with the town, with the people around, with the organisms. She has a garden that is off on the edges of the grove. So she is one of the major players of tending to this area. And a lot of her magic has been putting itself into all of these other plants. So that is one of the reasons why there is so much growth here, because these are the dryads of the ancient grove. Again, and they have been around for almost as long as this realm has been. They are some of the oldest members of Elassidir, is this group of ancient dryads, including Sylvia and Hunera, and Evora and Geneva.
Okay.
So she is around, whether she's in her tree or outside. You don't see her at the moment, but yeah, she is definitely around somewhere.
Okay.
You do see that there are a handful of other sprites that are flying around. It looks like right now it's the morning, roughly. It's been a few hours since you've woken up, so the day has gotten started. You can see that there are gardens. There are sprites that are gardening actively. And you know that, unless we didn't really talk too much about this, but your family is part of that, people that are sprites that garden, as well as some of the protectors or the guards of the city. Unless you want to change that, in which case that's fine.
No, that's totally fine. So
you can go see your family. They do live here, but there's some other places as well, including the tavern, which you know is ran by the family of the Bendel Six. They are both the large tap room and also the potion makers of the city of Iris. So awesome. You could go see them if you would like to. You have your family that you could go check out. There's a couple of other shops, a couple of other people or creatures that live here. You know that there is a mushroom farmer named Pepper who lives inside of the tree and grows a couple of different types of mushrooms, whether for food or for materials or things like that, as well as a couple of other things around your city.
I think Jinx will kind of look around for a minute. So, we could go meet my family, or a better option, because the Dryad's probably not with them, so we should probably go check out the tavern over here first, because she could be there, and if she's not, then we'll be able to get the let's call them supplies that I will need to then go introduce you all to my family.
I may be able to find her. I'll kind of lift my barked hand up and do that same kind of slithering whisper into the trees as I speak to the Thule tree and see if she answers to tell me where she's at. Using a boreal affinity, which lets me talk to trees because we share a language.
Okay. As you ask this question, you feel almost an immediate answer of, "Oh, I'm on my way."
Oh, I guess she's coming here.
And yeah, you all see that you're getting a lot closer to this bright village. Again, this tree is fairly big. How close to the village are you when you're doing this?
Probably not too close, probably just close enough to be able to see as a whole to get a better picture. We've kind of been through a lot of combat at this point. I think Amira would want to make sure, even though it seems safe, that doesn't mean it is safe.
Excellent. Yeah, so the response that you get is she's on her way. Now that you have made your presence known to her.
That's handy.
Yeah, that'll speed things up really quickly.
Sometimes it's handy to talk to fellow trees, but sometimes they can be quite rude. It comes with old age, I imagine.
Really? That's fascinating.
Especially
are
the
they-
oaks.
Are they dangerous, or are they out of bark and bite?
Oh, of course, that begs the question. Is it actually handy, or is it more like Rudy?
I think I'll go up here to wait for her. Amira will start walking forward. Not
That
pleased
really
with the...
felt. That really felt like you were branching out on that one, Jinx.
Oh, thank you, Buskeen. I appreciate that. Although I suppose it's, we shouldn't just stand around. We should probably leave and go see her.
Ah!
All right. Anybody got any more?
Yes, maybe perhaps we should truncate this conversation and
There it is.
I will glare back at referee. Maybe we should just come up with a collective plan before she gets here.
That's a good idea. Sorry for all the puns, Amira. We didn't mean to get too sappy on you.
She'll just pull my hood down a little bit more.
we had a good reason for it.
Oh my god.
I get it. You didn't put it up because you are embarrassed. You did not want us to see the redwood.
Ruli,
Yes.
please, do you have any plans that we... Do you have a plan that we can use? I'll still hold my hood.
I don't know. I wasn't really thinking of a plan. I was thinking about all the puns. I mean, they were quite good. Oh. Are we just asking her about the island? Do we need a plan? Have I been zoned out?
Since she'll ask us what to do or where we're going, they keep asking us so many questions, and we don't seem to have answers for those questions.
Well, just to the floating islands. I think we'd just be honest with her, and hopefully she'll help us.
As you're all standing around this tree and discussing what to do about Sylvia when she gets here, you notice that Clive and Jen are not with you anymore. As you look around, if you're looking for them, they are not behind you though.
I will look around for Jen.
All right, great.
Did you or drive them off with your jokes? See, I knew they weren't gonna like me after that.
And with that worry, you look around and find them relatively quickly. They are actually on the opposite side of this tree. They went completely around to the other side. And as you turn the corner, you see that both of them are standing next to two other centaurs. They're friends that they talked about earlier. Looking over there, you see that while you are standing at the tree, they're about now 50, 60 feet off from you. There looks to be a small tent over there, and two other centaurs. One that you can tell right now is wearing a kind of reddish robe, and one is wearing a kind of greenish robe. And that's what you can see from about this far away.
Oh, looks like they found their friends. That's good.
Definitely. They may be able to help us know where to go.
Possibly. But yeah, I think we just tell her exactly what's going on and we be honest. She's not an oyster, so I think we can talk to her straight.
You've mentioned oysters before. Are they not very nice either? Are they like the oak trees?
I wouldn't say they're not nice, but they have an affinity for riddles and talking around stuff. And when you talk to them, it just takes so long.
That sounds awful.
I've heard they can hold on to disagreements too. They get kind of salty.
I'll just hold my hands up like this and smile at Ruli.
Well, the occasional pearl of wisdom, though.
They
Enjoy
do
my
have pearls
friends.
sometimes. But they hoard them, though. They don't like to share.
That sounds pretty shellfish to me.
Within the next, how long are you staying around? It takes a couple minutes for Sylvie to get there. But are you doing anything else in the meantime?
I don't think Jinx is. I think Jinx is too pleased with herself over the puns and just keeps going.
I don't blame them. Okay, so yeah, after another couple of minutes of some good ocean and tree related puns, you see coming out from even further away now than the tent where the centaurs are. You see a woman who, from where you are standing, looks like she's wearing a darker kind of olive green, long robe and a matching hat. You can see that there's white curly hair kind of pushing out from underneath it. And she's got this satchel and a bag of different types of flowers and other types of plants that she walks past. And you can see her kind of say something and acknowledge the centaurs. But I don't believe that any of you are close enough to really hear what specifically she has said. But she did acknowledge them. She happily walks her way over to you and Amira, as without even really acknowledging everybody else. But you are the one that she's really here to see. You're the one specifically that said hello. As she comes up and greets all of you. Welcome. Let's see. I recognize you, and Jinx points directly at you, but not the rest of you.
Jinx just waves. Hi, these are my friends. This is Ruli, and that's Reverie, and that's Buskeen. This is Amira, and this is Dram.
Wonderful. Well, I'm Sylvia, as you know for sure, Jinx. Welcome in, everybody. Hi. Jinx, it's so nice that you've brought friends. Oh my goodness. We haven't seen you in so long here.
Yeah, and they're all alive this time. I'm pretty sure you're all alive. None of you are undead, right? I suppose I should have asked that when we started this quest.
I mean, I am not undead, but I do have to say hello, hi. I'm here as a friend, I guess, but I am also here as official representative and envoy from Hebe and the aunties. And so if you have any messages or you know someone who needs to send something to them, this is now is really going to be your best chance for a long time.
He tends to be straight to business, sister.
Oh.
I mean, you can think it's fine. I'm going to be at the bar in a little while. I just wanted to let you know so you could plan your stuff.
When you say the aunties, do you mean Palomera? Okay.
Yeah.
I might have something for you. I'll come back to you later.
Cool.
Great. Straight to business. Excellent. Well, welcome. Any other business, I guess, if we're getting into it?
Yeah, so, hey, what's going on with, everything squishing together? Do you have any ideas?
Oh. I have some ideas and some thoughts. I don't have full answers, unfortunately, but what do you know? I mean, honestly, the information that I have is thanks to them. And she gestures behind her and points over at the centaurs.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the same information we have. And then, Jinx will just go into a summary of everything that's happened over the last couple of sessions.
Okay. As you explain all of the details, she nods. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Have you seen the map with all of them mapped out and where they are? If not, you should go talk to them. Because they're on it over there. It's very impressive. I didn't even know that they could map that out, but
Player knowledge, I cannot
Yes.
remember if we did see the map yet or not.
so you have seen the map of the realms put together, but this is a slightly different map that she is referring to.
Okay. Then Jinx will be like, yeah, no, I haven't seen that. We should go do that. Yeah.
They did mention their friends having made a map, if I recall correctly.
They did mention that, yes. So the other two centaurs, which thinking back to your conversation with Carlisle and Jen, you know that there's two different, in the centaur herd, there's two major different factions, I guess. One is the faction of the moon, and one is the faction of the stars. And the two that you have met, Carlisle and Jen, are factions of the moon. The two that they've said were meeting were the faction of the stars. So they are looking at more of divination, whereas the two that you have met were more looking at more protection and combat. So they have slightly different takes on things, but working together to make it happen. Besides that, Sylvia doesn't know any new information other than really what they're going to tell you. She knows that Evora is up in the air and can feel that whoa, it's probably not so great. She's getting further away, so she's pretty concerned about Evora not being part of Elassiter and what that's going to do to her magic, potentially.
You have been in this grove a lot longer than any of us have. Is there somewhere we can get assistance with perhaps mounts that can fly? If these islands continue to fly and get away from us, we'll never be able to catch them upon the ground.
With flight. Well, I know that there are a lot of flighted creatures that might live in the woods, although getting them to be in your side might be tricky. You could maybe check in with Lark, Brindlewood. They are currently making some kind of thing. I think they were working on something that might help you out. So one of those two, finding something with wings or maybe magic, I will be able to help you, but I can't make you fly, at least.
Gives me an idea. What if we did, we found somebody that could do magic to make all of these lovely giant folks our size? And then we could just carry them up. We just get, a few of us sprites to come along and just carry them.
That's not a bad idea. If you were to all be this big, well, that's one creature, or that's a couple of loads. Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it.
Yeah, Bob here could probably take a couple of us. And she points to her raven that she's sitting on.
So it looks like there's a couple of options. I wish I could make you fly, though. But again,
Where would
we might be
we?
able to help. Oh, what's up?
Where would we be able to find Lark?
So Lark is a member of the Brindlewood family, and they'd be at the tavern, essentially. Probably is the best guess.
Okay. Your help is greatly appreciated. Ruli, do you have something else to say? I thought you had started speaking and I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I was going to we also have our hippogriff friend that, if we're smaller, they could probably take all of us. If they don't eat us, that might be a risk. I don't know if they would eat us. But if we're smaller, they'd be able to take all of us.
If if we were smaller, they also would be able to beat us more easily. I feel
Yeah,
like this is
That's what I was worried about. But
yeah.
You get used to that.
we did help them, so maybe they won't need us. Oh, that's a problem for later. Let's go see if we can find some mounts.
I think it would also behoove us to see if we could get a copy of the map that the centaurs have.
I agree. Thank you for your help, sister. I think there are other places we must attend to.
Oh, of course. Well, we'll be around if you ever need anything. And she digs in her bag and pulls out this lavender and white flower that has these really, really long petals to it. There's 5 really long petals, and she hands it to you. That's for you.
Thank you kindly. I'll put it in my hair beneath my hood.
That looks beautiful. And she looks down at you, Baskin. And I'll check in with you a little bit later.
Wonderful. You know where I will be and what I will be doing.
Yes, I do. All right. Any other questions you have for me right now?
Yeah, do you know if at the tavern they're still making that drink with the it was like a maple mead that had they used that sap and they made it this really sweet alcoholic drink. Are they still making that?
Of course they are.
And she just like turns and giant excited eyes to everybody's like, oh, we have to go get some. You all have to try it. It's amazing.
Well, with that, let me know if you need anything. I'll be in here. And she points directly behind her at the big tree. All right. Goodbye. And she
Bye.
just disappears into the tree.
And I think, excuse me, Jinx grabs on to like a short sleeve or something like that of the closest person, probably Ruli, and just starts trying rather comically to tug them along. The whole party, just one person at a time towards the tavern because she's so excited.
I'll step back while this is happening, and then as y'all are turned around, I'll move towards the centaurs where Jen is. I'll also glance to Reverie before they get pulled away, so in case the centaurs get mad at me, I don't want to get
Yeah.
smashed.
Reverie was gonna head for the centaurs as well.
All right. So who's going where?
Bar.
2 for the bar, 2 for the centaurs.
I'm being pulled along with Jinx, so
Wonderful.
I'm going
3
that
for
way.
the bar, 2 for the centaurs.
Maybe hit the bar later.
All right. Then let's. It's 6:30. It's 7:30 right now. It's about a time right now. Let's go ahead and take a break right now, and then we'll come back with both of those when we come back from break.
All right, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, so go grab snacks, drinks, stretch your legs, all that good stuff, and then we'll be right back. And we are back. Thank you again to, and again, I apologize if I mispronounce it, but Rail15 for the $30 donation. Please let me know in chat how you would like to allocate that, if you'd like to do advantages or crits, etc. Let's do some advantages across the board. Awesome. Will do. Thank you again so much. Very much appreciate it.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thanks.
And then, back to you.
Excellent. All right, so when we went off to break, we just split up. 2 of us going off to talk to the 4 centaurs, 3 of us going off to the Bendel-Sticks Brewery. Let's head over to the centaurs first. So, Revelry, Amira. As the 2 of you approach the 4 centaurs, you see the 2 of them that you've been traveling with, Carlisle and Jen. You also see 2 new centaurs, one of which looks significantly smaller than the other 2. They have bluish green streaks through their hair. They're the one wearing the red robe. And as you get closer, you can see that the red robe is covered in golden constellations, and it travels all the way back. It has a split down the side so that the rest of their body sticks out behind it. And next to them is a bright orange and red centaur with charcoal-like black hair that, as you get closer, it also looks like the top of their head is smoking. And they are the one wearing the green robe with the yellow constellations, which are a little bit brighter, but not as shiny as the red constellations. And the 4 of them are looking over a map that's propped up on one of these tables as the 2 of you approach. But none of them are looking directly at you. They are all 4 of them are focused on what they're looking at down there. They look like they're kind of in a conversation. How are you approaching them?
I'm gonna approach at an angle so that Jen can kind of see me out of their periphery, so I don't like sneak up and get sorted. I'll kind of touch their shoulder. Good morning, Jen. Are these your friends you were telling us about?
Yeah, and as you even approach, Jen does acknowledge you without saying anything, and just gesture off as Carlisle speaks up. And, oh, hey guys, welcome. These are the other 2 that we were talking about earlier. This is Marion, and he points over to the smaller one with the blue and the green streaks in her hair and the red robe, and Ember, the red one with the smoke coming up, as they both quietly acknowledge you, and then you can see that they quickly go back to pointing at different parts of the map, and you can hear them talking back and forth. Okay, well, if this one's flying over here now, then it'll probably be over here in the next day or so. Oh, okay, well, we already know that the top of the mountain is over on the far side of the coast. It's past the islands, which means it'll probably be swinging up and around. My guess is that if we were to follow its pathway, we could we'll see it over by my head in the next couple of days, maybe. But we do know. Oh, hey, as they finally start to really stop what they're doing and acknowledge the 2 of you. You guys got this, or what do you? As they look over to Jen and Carlisle. I think they actually had questions for you 2 that we weren't able to help them with. Is that right?
Indeed, we were seeking a map, and it looks like you happen to have one. Maybe I'll glance over at Referee. This is my friend Referee. They're better than speaking than I am. Referee.
Yes. Well, we've been tasked by King Oberon with trying to figure out what's going on with this whole floating island situation and trying to see if there's some way to rectify it.
As you say you were tasked with finding out what's going on by King Oberon, you just see Marion, the one with the blue, the green hair, just roll their eyes, just completely. Okay, of course. Do you know anything about this in the first place? Or why you? You should have just asked us. Am I classic? So I guess now we have to tell you all the stuff. Is that right? And as you look at this map, it is the map that you've seen before of the realms merged together, and it doesn't look any different. It looks just blank completely. As you see, both of them they don't love that King Oberyn has asked you to do this thing that they are actively doing. As Ember starts to talk again, and okay, so what? You probably want to see. Okay, can you do the thing? And Marion says, okay, all right. Here, take this, and breaks off a piece of wood and hands a piece of stick to each of you. And
Oh, wince as I take it. At least it's not a rock this time.
it is not a rock this time. And Amir, as soon as you grab it, you know that this is a piece of you immediately. You know that that's exactly what stick this is. And you see that Miriam starts waving her hands around and chanting under her breath a little bit as the two of you watch this map illuminate in color. As you see the realms themselves become outlined in blue and red and green and purple and browns, and you see this map start to come to life. And you can't tell if the map is changing or your perception of the map is changing, but from the map itself, it becomes three-dimensional. And you can see that there are now floating above the map these kind of shimmering and ethereal islands. And you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And they look, from what you've seen, exactly what you've seen from far away. One looks like the peak of a mountain that is floating off the size of this island. One has this massive tree on it, and you can see is floating above these other massive islands. Amira, you very quickly figure out which one is yours as you see what was your home and where your tree currently is floating above the realm of Nymphindor as it sails across the open plains. And you see a little light on the bottom of the map that indicates what you can only imagine is where you are, which is off to the north of the realm of Velocity, which is bright, vibrant green on the map. And you notice very close to you is an island floating in the sky. However, it's not the one that you were following. The one that you were following, as you notice almost immediately, is the one with the big tree on it, as it is off almost all the way towards the north of Umbervale. However, there is a tree, or an island that you see heading in your direction right now. You don't recognize what it is, though, specifically.
How close does it appear to be? How close do we appear to be to my island?
To your island? And it looks like from the distance of the map, it's hard to tell a little bit because you're not 100% certain just from your own thoughts about how big some of these realms are in relation to the map. But it doesn't look particularly close. It looks like it would be at least a trek. It would be out of Elassidir and into Nymphindor. So however long it takes you to do that. But it is actively on the move. And looking at these islands, you can see that they are slowly traveling. And there's a small, faint, dotted line coming away from each of them.
What are these lines here?
Oh, these are where they were originally, or where they were coming from. And for each of these, we can see that, well, we have not the 100% idea, but we're estimating that they're going this way. And Marion snaps her fingers, and you can see that now there are 3 red lines coming out from each of the floating islands in the sky. As they're very faint on the map, but you can see that they are kind of going in similar directions, but kind of different, depending on the angle that the pathway is taking. So they have 3 different projections for each of these islands, but they don't know exactly which one is which yet.
Do they seem like they're all kind of congregating towards one place?
Not necessarily. It looks like they are traveling. Some are going clockwise, some are moving counterclockwise. They are, it looks like, traveling as far away from their original location as they can. And it looks like maybe some of them are swapping places. But the ones that were in the mountains are now in the ocean. The ones that were in the ocean are now in the forest. The ones that were in the plains are now somewhere that they weren't supposed to be. So they are traveling in different directions, but in very different places than they originated.
These islands appear to be moving quicker than expected, Rever.
Yes, and I don't suppose there seems to be any real like rhyme or reason to how they're moving either.
As you say that, Amber speaks up. Yeah, the reason is escaping us, but we've kind of been able to map out the direction, at least, so we can anticipate that this one, and he points over to the one that you don't recognize, but is the closest to you. This one will probably be floating around here, and he points directly up, within the next day or so, is my guess. So,
Is this map all taken from the ground? The ground view only?
so as you are looking at it, you're actually looking at it from the top down. So this is a map that is now 3-dimensional, and you are above it. So these islands are,
Okay.
you're looking down at it, yeah.
So satellite style.
Exactly,
Oh.
yeah. Kind of weather mappy in a way.
We have more friends with us. Since we are on this business with Oberon, we're seeking mounts that can take us up to these islands. Is there a way that another map can be made? Or perhaps a copy of this one we can take with us?
Well, and Marion speaks up. We can't. I guess I could take. I might be able to make you a copy of the map as it is, but it won't be live. It won't be able to track them as it happens, but it'll tell you where they are right now. It'll take me a little bit to do that, but I can probably make that happen.
Can we have one that is a rendition of what will happen when the island that is expected to come here is here, rather than as it looks now?
That I have to start the process when it is where it is. So you can, but I'll have to do that when it is above us, if you want it to be more accurate then.
Would you have enough time to do that and us still be able to make it up there if we have the mounts that day?
You're asking that to her?
Yeah.
She has no idea what you're talking about. I wouldn't be going. I would stay right here, and make you
No.
this. Are you going up there?
Indeed. I was asking how long it would take to make the map if the island gets here first, and then we have you make the copy, so that it is in that timeline. I imagine one that's made now will not help us much once we're up there.
I'd imagine not. I might be able to if I put a little bit more effort into it.
I'd be willing to pay you.
That, I mean, if you insist, but that wouldn't be necessary. As emissaries from the king, I can't ask that.
The
What I
king
might be able to
doesn't.
do. Oh, what?
The king doesn't pay people, does he? He just makes demands and sends people off to their dooms.
I see.
I'm offering you gold after all.
Yes, we were sort of voluntold.
He does do that, doesn't he?
Yes.
But I'll put 250 gold on the table.
And Ember's eyes light up. You got it. We got it. We're taking that, right? I suppose they put it down. Yeah, and Ember takes your 250. So you could do this new thing. What were you? Oh yeah. I might be able to make a different. It'll take me a little longer, but I think before this thing gets here, if I put a little bit more effort into this, and with this, I will have a lot more incentive to do so. Make one that updates every morning or every new light. And it won't be live, but it will refresh, I suppose.
So very similar to what I asked you earlier, and you told me that you could not do.
It couldn't be live. You can't watch them travel. So if something drastically different happens, then you will be at a loss for that. But
I consider the outburst I had earlier about the werewolves. And I kind of nod. I get to say, I suppose you're right. And so that I don't have another kind of situation.
Reveries kind of nervously looking at a mirror like, please don't.
That sounds like it would be helpful.
okay, well, I can't make any official promises, but we will see what I can do. I've not done this before, but I think together, and Ember, for this, I think we can probably make that happen. Okay, all right. Then we'll start that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Is there anything else that we could help you with? Or because this thing's, where are you going? Are you staying here for a little bit?
We should be here for a while. We have other business to attend to. We heard that Lark may be able to provide us with some kind of way to get up to the islands.
Yes, and it'd probably be good to stock up on provisions.
Oh, yes.
Well,
If we don't know what's going to be up there.
I often forget that those of the flesh need provisions.
well, we will be here, and I hope to be able to get this done before you go up there, if that's your goal. Because once you go up there, it might take you somewhere away from here. So I will do a rush job and hope it works. If that's where you're planning.
I hope that it'll be worth my money.
Well, I hope so as well. Thank you, though.
I'm sure it will be. It will. It will
It
certainly
will be. It will be. It will be. I
Probably.
just haven't done it before, so.
be more helpful than the king was.
I'll tap my bag of bones. I suppose you're right.
Well, they don't know it's in there, so.
I'll make sure that the outline of the
Okay,
skull
good.
is
Okay.
Reverie standing behind a mirror kind of goes, just don't worry about it.
All right. So you have paid for this map that may or may not be what you are asking for. Anything else you're asking them? All right.
I don't think so.
Cool.
I will say, hopefully, Jen, our mounts will be big enough for Centaur, and then I'll start to walk away.
Reverie does stay behind to briefly to thank Jen and Carl. Didn't anticipate needing any silvered weapons, and I'd rather like not being eaten. So.
Well, not being eaten is the way to go, isn't it?
Not being eaten is the way to go.
I also agree. Well, hopefully, I'll be honest. You might encounter a few more of those things if they are out and about, looking to start something. So now you know.
Yes, I think I'll be updating what's in my quiver.
Well, if you're ever in Infandor, we got plenty of it over there. I can't speak so much as for over here, not from here. But if you come check out our posts, I'll cover you.
That would be lovely. Well, if we don't run into each other soon, then safe travels.
You too. And with that, let's turn over to the other three of you who are traveling over to the Bendlewood Brewery, which is outside. It's not in the main area of the town, which, again, most of the city of Iris is inside of the Thule tree. And a lot of the gardens, a lot of the plants, a lot of the nature, obviously, is outside. And that is where the Bendlewoods made their brewery. So there is a little shack, a little hut, very, very nice, but also very small comparatively to what you are mostly all used to. And outside, there's this roped off zone with a couple of various sizes of chairs, of stools, of tables, of bars even. There's some very, very small ones and some very, very large ones. It looks like the Bendlewoods have really taken into consideration all of the things that they can fit and also might need for any type of person that would come over here or creature that would come over to their beer garden, essentially is what this is. As you walk in and you see that there are two people here working, there's not really anybody inside right now. It's still very, very early in the day, as most of the sprites of this town are either at work in the garden or in the forest or on guard duty or doing something. It's pretty empty right now. But you do see two people still working in here. One person behind the bar and one person or one sprite kind of cleaning up some of the tables, flying around, wiping them all off. Jinx, you do recognize both of these people or both of these sprites as there is Lark, who is behind the bar. And Lark is relatively your age. You two kind of go back a little bit. Whether that's good or bad, I'll leave up to you. But you do know Lark, and they are in the same kind of age group as you. The one flowing around to the different tables is their younger brother, Ant. And you can see that they have a rag. They're kind of bussing right now, making sure everything's ready to go for anybody who might come in today. A little bit later. As the three of you enter, they both kind of acknowledge your presence as Ant keeps flying around to the different tables. And one at the bar looks over. Hello, well, welcome in. What can I do for you?
Hey, Lark.
Oh, Jinx! Oh my God! Where? Oh, it's been a long time. Where have you been?
Oh, not so bad. Just exploring, seeing things outside the forest, and working at the whole, keeping the undead out of the forest thing, and definitely not setting any more fires, and definitely working on, getting the funds together for that bar tab. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I'll be honest. My parents aren't here right now, so that's fine. They've, and I'll talk to them when they ever get back. When they get back tonight. They're out looking for new ingredients and things like that for new potions and drinks. So that leaves the two of us here. But that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm actually working for Oberon right now to figure out what's going on with the world being all weird and like smushed together.
You're working for the king?
Yeah. And
Whoa.
she'll hold up her symbol.
Whoa. Jeez, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. The whole world out there is pretty exciting and fun. I'm glad I've been traveling. But I'm back here. We're looking for some help from some different folks to work on this thing for the king. These are my new friends. This is Ruli, and this is Baskin.
Oh,
She points to the other
Hey
two.
there.
Hi. It's great to meet you. Any friend of Jinx is a friend of mine. Welcome in. Can I get you
Hello.
something to drink?
Yes, please. I would like something that is very, very strong. If it is going to come in that very, very tiny cup.
Do you want it in the tiny one, or do you want it in a different one? I can pour it in a tiny one. if that's what you're. I'll get you
I
a tiny
mean,
one.
No, yes, I'm here. I'm here to experience the local culture. This is fantastic. I have been excited about this specific thing since the worlds collided together. This is the fantastic bit. Yes, please, your tiny cup.
I was
Okay.
talking up your maple mead to him on the way over here.
All right. We actually just made a fresh batch last night, so
Oh,
this will be pretty good. He points over to. What about you?
I'll try some of that as well. I've never had it before, so it might be fun.
3 tiny cups? 3 tiny cups. And he flies off. And he goes into the little building it's a cubic foot relatively. He flies in and flies back out with a little tray and puts down 3 very small cups. Very, very tiny cups. And for you, Jinx, it is perfect size, actually. But it's the one you have anyway. But for the other 2 of you, very small. Very teeny tiny. Yeah. It is very, very sweet.
yeah.
And
Jinx downs her cup, like, just guzzles the whole thing down, slaps the mug down or the cup down on the table, and then just wipes this, what I imagine to be, like, almost syrupy type, liquid off of her face.
yeah.
And then just, like, literally shaking a little bit. It's like, oh, that's good stuff.
It's of pure honey, and something sweeter than that had a baby and was also alcoholic.
I need this, like, in real life.
I will also drink it all at once, but it's only like a drop for me. So.
Yeah, it's not big.
Baskine is going to take it and like look over at the bird, think about it real hard for a second, and I maybe since he's small, it might be like shot glass size. It's still not huge, but it's yeah, he's gonna down it straight away and go,
That was delicious. Please, the same, but in a not ridiculous cup.
Well, I like your commitment to the bit. I'll get you a bigger one. Oh, another one for you? And you?
Sure. I'll take another one.
I'll take one in, like, a gnome-sized cup, thanks.
All right. And he flies off.
Which I imagine for Jinx is, like, the equivalent of, like, a 60-ounce cup for a human.
Yeah. Big 7-Eleven cup.
Yeah.
And one by one, bringing increasingly bigger cups. Yeah, big gold. Bringing increasingly bigger cups. You all now have your appropriate sized forest mead. That again is just oh so sweet. Anything else? Hey, if you need anything, let me know. You're the only people here. What are you looking for?
So, all right, I'm trying to figure out how I can do drunk and hyper at the same time in a voice. We're gonna give this a shot. So, we're talking about, the floating islands, and we gotta figure out how to get up there, and so we're talking about maybe making everybody small, like me, so then we could carry them up on Bob. Bob's my bird, but also. However, we could do like flying mounts that would take them up there.
As you're saying all of this, you see that their expression is both in awe and also like kind of excited. And as they start, okay, actually, oh my, I have just the thing. And they fly off. And
I think while they're gone, Jinx just starts flying in a circle in the room, just like a cat with the zoomies.
and within it takes a minute or two, and you see Lark fly back with a little plate and a small biscuit on it. Okay, hey, take this. Give it to one of them.
Hold on a second. I think I'm gonna do a Constitution save just for my own benefit.
Okay.
6. Yeah. She's drunk and hyper, so when he says take this, she just like shoves it in her mouth.
Good. And as you do, and as you do, you see Lark's face get wide, and then wider, and then wider, and then wider, and then wider, as you see everything. It's so much bigger than it always is. As you yourself have now shrink completely. You are so small, and the world is so different. There's so many more things down here. There's so many more cracks and rough edges and stuff that you've just never really seen before.
Curious question. Am I
Yeah,
small
what's up?
enough to see like bacteria and stuff at this point?
Oh, the big ones.
There's probably like tiny little flashes of Eldritch Blast that are going off on the chair or table wherever she was when she ate it.
Yeah,
And she's
you
just
can
like
definitely-
blasting bacteria.
It is a time being almost microscopic. Oh boy.
Oh my god, that would be amazing!
Yeah.
A tardigrade mount. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
As you hear, well, I didn't mean you. And you are small for a little bit. And by small, I mean, oh, so small. Microscopic. As a couple minutes go by and you pop back up.
Ah,
What the heck?
what was in that?
Uh,
I saw monsters like you've never seen before.
yeah, well, I mean, I actually have. I've tested it on myself, and I didn't mean to test it on you, but congratulations, now you've seen the weird place that lives under there.
Can't tell if I liked it or if I hated it.
I'll be
There
honest,
is cool looking things though.
oh yeah, I've done it a few times and I still don't know.
At least I'm not the only one.
Oh, it's pretty bonkers down there though, huh?
Yeah.
Everything is moving around and things were like really different. Okay, well, for us at least, this could be a little dangerous, but for your friends, it might be just the thing you're looking for. At least, unless you have another idea, because this is only one of like the like a lot of different things that I've been baking, or at least have ideas to bake. There's so many things. Especially because the dads come back with all their different ingredients, and then I can mix all of those different things together, and then I make potions, but I put them in the oven, or at least I cook them. They don't think that that's appropriate, but it works. So
I mean, it sounds amazing. Like you have potions and you make them edible.
yeah, and I can add like sugar and butter and flour, and that's it for some of them, honestly.
Edible
Yeah.
potions. That's fantastic.
It doesn't work on all of them, unfortunately. Some of them you bake the magic right out of it. But there's a few of them that it makes it even more potent. There's a few of them that it makes it even more exciting. There's a few of them that are just different now. Uh-oh. There's a couple of recipes that I really want to try, but there's some ingredients that I don't have. But maybe one day.
Well, Really, Baskin, you should try this.
Oh, should I? I'll go get another one. I don't have that. I'll go get another one.
And he flies off. And about a minute or two later, he comes back with another little biscuit.
Did we see what happened?
Did you see what happened? Are you paying attention right now? Because you have your drinks. There's nothing else really going on though, and this wasn't being super sneaky. So chances are probably, unless you got super distracted.
In which case, it might have looked like Jinx just cast invisibility again.
Honestly,
I think the only reason that Baskin saw it was because as soon as Jinx started to shrink, Lychee started to move and just kind of like, okay, well, this is another mouse. Game on. And I think the sudden movement called Baskin's attention as he kind of poofed Lychee away for a moment.
Bruli is often distracted, but I feel like she was probably listening to this conversation because they are trying to get something done.
that's fair. Then yeah, you pretty much know exactly what just happened, and there is another biscuit here. As Lark says, "Okay, well, I don't think they're gonna be surprised anymore, but you want to try it?" And there are two of them on the plate if you are interested.
I will always take food offered, but maybe not right now. I think maybe we will need this later, perhaps.
Okay. Okay. It'll only last like a few minutes. You've already seen what happens. You're not gonna go to the place that we went to, but you're gonna get, our size. So that should be fun, right?
Should be very interesting, but it won't last us long enough to get up to the island, will it?
Yeah, that's an issue. It's not gonna last a long time.
Could you make like a giant-sized one?
I suppose I can. I think I have enough ingredients for that. How many do you need?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. At least 5.
Okay. Okay. By when?
Do
Wait,
you
what?
also maybe do you perhaps have something that can make, just perhaps one thing fly?
Well, not yet. But I do have a recipe that I really wanted to try that might work. But I don't have all of the ingredients that I need.
Can you do one that does the opposite? That makes things bigger? We can make the crow bigger.
Oh yeah, Bob. We could make Bob like huge.
Oh, I wonder if I can do that. I'll be honest, I haven't tried to make things bigger yet. Okay, I might be able to do that. And I might be able to make things fly. I need to build the rest. I guess I could just invert it. I'll figure it out, probably. Making things bigger is something I haven't worked on, but I think I know how to make things fly.
We can just try everything when we do the plan. You can make us smaller, you can make Jinx and her crow bigger, and we'll go at it and see what happens.
Okay.
Make some of us fly.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of baking today. When do you need these by?
I don't want to spend I kind of want to spend as little time in the same town as my family as possible. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, I get it. Uh-huh.
Would it help if I got you ingredients or money to buy ingredients?
Oh, I mean, yeah. If you have, let's see, what do I need? Give me a sec.
And he flies off. And another minute or so later, comes back with a little notebook and opens that up and flips through a couple of different pages.
Okay, so for this one right here, it says the main things that I'm missing are, let's see, feathers from magical flying animal, or a giant eagle egg. But I think either of those should probably do it. For this one, he flips over a couple of different pages. I think I have enough stuff to do that. I need to do some thinking on how to make things bigger, though, if that's what you're looking for.
We are all very happy to go and get this for you, but we are going to forget. Can you maybe write this down on a piece of paper? Then we will be able to follow this as we look for things.
Oh yeah. Do you want? Can I just put? Do you want? I'm gonna make you a list, I think. And
Great. I just want you to write it down.
and yeah, they write down a handful of different ingredients for a various amount of different types of ideas that they have. On the list are included face spider silk, the egg of a giant eagle, feathers from a magical flying animal, ink from an octopus or a squid, banshee ectoplasm, mimic adhesive, and giant wolf spider hair. He's like, okay, well, if you're really asking, like, if you find any of these, like, I'm always looking for that. We don't have it. But, as far as your things that you're asking for, these ones, and he circles the giant eagle egg and the feathers of the magic flying animal. And that's it.
Jinx pulls out a red hippogriff feather. Would something like this work?
What? You just had that?
Yeah. we helped a hippogriff on the way over here.
I have one too, but I think I want to hang on to mine.
And it gave you these?
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
What? You have some cool adventures. I mean, yeah, if you want to, I could, you said there's 5 of you? I could do that for sure. I think. Yeah. I have to get cooking, but when do you need, by tonight or by tomorrow? I just need to know when to start.
Tomorrow, probably.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and she'll hand the feather right over.
cool. Oh, and I get to help the king? And you?
Yeah.
Bake. Nice. Awesome. And he flies back and he deposits the feather. Coming back a minute later. Okay. Cool. Well, oh wow, that's exciting. I didn't actually expect you to have that. Anything else? Do you have like face spider silk? Do you have mimic adhesive on you?
Excuse me. Question.
Yeah, what's up?
For you and also for everyone, we do have that asset. Would it be possible to, and would we want to use that to just find a random cache of like all those ingredients that we need for some of this stuff? Or some of the ingredients?
That is an excellent idea.
What?
Let's roll a d20 to see how many of these things we can. No, I will give you. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, as you for your asset, let's see. You can have somewhere in this. I don't know where you find this. Maybe you already just have it, Baskin. Maybe you have this just left over from stuff in your bag that hasn't really been asked for yet. But you have strands of giant wolf spider hair, and the you do have mimic adhesive, so you could have some of those.
And just to make sure, is all the other players, are you all cool with that?
Good with it.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
Oh, well,
Awesome.
I have the mimic sticky. Actually, no one has really asked. I was kind of going to sell it at some point, but I guess a trade is just as good. I do have the hair, but I do not know if it is a wolf spider hair or a spider or wolf spider hair.
Okay. Well,
I-
either way, I can work with that. I think.
Okay, well, here you go. I hope it is
All
the
right.
right one.
Cool. Wow. Okay. Hey, Aunt, we're gonna go on overdrive tonight. Yeah, okay. Great. Okay, guys. Well, come back tomorrow and we're gonna have a bunch of fun stuff for you.
Does this place get, is there excitement here at night?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Where
Once
is-
all
where
the
is-
gardeners are back, they go pretty hard, you know. The day ends for them around in the afternoon, so you know, early to rise, early to party is what we always say, except we don't sometimes. They actually don't really like it when I say that because they are sticklers. But I'm trying to get it to catch on, so if you can do it, let them know. Except don't tell
Okay,
my dads
great.
because they also don't love it. Anyway, I'm trying to get it to catch on. Early to rise, early to party. But yeah, they'll be around later probably.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And after a couple of minutes of just drinking, chilling, the other two of you come back in, as Reverie and Amira are both back in the bakery, or the brewery rather. It is both, I guess, technically. As the two of you enter, Lark flies up and, do you want two small ones or do you want ones that fit you?
What are you asking me?
Do you want a drink?
No, I'm looking
Oh.
for a lizard, a seal, and a really one of you.
So they are the only people in here, and they're just sitting right at the bar right now. It is
Ah.
completely empty besides them.
I think
Oh yeah, I think those ones probably, huh?
Shinx just like rushes over and is clearly inebriated. And is like, "Hi, you gotta try this maple mead. It's really good. It's really sweet and it's strong. And we figured out we're gonna eat these magical cookies. And it's gonna make it's either gonna make me big or you small or both. It's gonna be good. We figured a bunch of stuff out, and you gotta try this."
Slow down. Slow down. You found the solution. Explain to me about being big or small.
Right. So my friend Lark is gonna bake these special cookies, and when you eat one, it'll make. I ate one a minute ago, or an hour ago. I don't really understand how time works still. Especially right now, it's a little fuzzy. But speaking of a little fuzzy, I got really small, and there were these fuzzy things that tried to eat me. They're like, "Blah." But I shot them, and it was fine. But you all get that small, so you'll be fine. You'll be like my size. You'll be my. I can give you all hugs.
I'd rather you not. That seems like a bad idea.
Okay, I won't give you a hug, but I could give like Ruli and Baskid and Reverie a hug, and Jam seems like he might not like hugs too, but whoever wants, I could give them a hug. That'd be great.
I'm sure it's for a safety, and the shimmers on my cloak will shift a little bit.
Right, maybe like a fist bump.
Maybe. Does Jinx have one of the treats with her?
No, I don't think
One
she
of the two
does.
plates. Okay.
I think Ruli and Basking took them.
Okay. Oh.
But yeah, you gotta try some of this stuff. Well, it might be kind of weird for you because it's like tree. It's made from like tree sap. Is that like being a tree vampire if you drink that? Is that a weird question?
It sounds delightful. I'll take one of those in a Baskin size glass.
Yeah, you got it. He flies
I-
off. Oh, wait.
Make it a double.
Okay.
Thank you.
And another couple of minutes later, comes back with one drip after the other, two moderate-sized glasses for you.
Jinx is back to doing the zoomies around the room.
Perfect.
I'll,
As
s-
oh yeah,
I'll sip it and say, I always wondered what the blood of the other dryads would taste like.
Huh?
Reverie just kind of slowly glances at her. So,
Nothing. Sometimes you're not you when you're hungry. That's all.
I mean, it's not that weird.
Okay, I see. This is a joke.
and he flies off.
That joke made me snicker.
And as you all are all hanging out for the next couple of minutes, or how long are you hanging out for in this area?
How long does it take to sober up from this stuff?
Depends how much of it you've had.
Like a big gulp size glass.
All right, go ahead and roll a Constitution check to see how you're doing, because that's a big one. Uh-oh. A little bit of time. Uh-oh. That's worse than I thought. Yeah, that's a little bit of time.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
boy.
So, however long a 4 Constitution save takes to get, like, from completely shit-faced to, moderately buzzed before she suggests going to see her family.
Okay. So a few hours, it probably, at least some amount of time. Who knows? Whatever. Who even cares? And as you're all hanging out, eventually, you hear a voice, Jinx, and everybody starts to hear one, and it is confusing. It's like it's yelling for something, for someone, and you all don't really recognize exactly what it's saying, but there's a new person who flies in, as there's another sprite that has entered the area, as they are yelling out, Jovi! Lark, you've seen Jovi around? And Jinx, you recognize this person immediately.
Oh no.
This is your brother. This is your brother, Jet. And thinking immediately, Jovi is your youngest brother, who is being looked for right now. As Jet pauses and realizes that you are here. Hello? In a tavern with... Hello? Who? What?
Hi, Jet. Hi. I'm back. I'm working for the king, and these are my friends. This is Ruli and Reverie and Baskin and Amira and Jam, and we're gonna figure out what's going on with all the world being all smushed together. It's really good to see you. I've had a lot of maple mead. How are you doing? Where's Jovi? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned. And Jet has very short cropped, very, very dark black hair.
Is it slightly spiky almost?
It is definitely spiky.
Yeah, Jinx
Yeah.
is definitely like putting her hand, like her palm, on top of the hair and like just squishing it just a little bit. Like, his spiky.
Hey, Jinx. You look like you're having fun. Well, it's good to see you. I wish you would have maybe stopped by home first, but
I had to come here first because I'm not seeing, the parents before I have some of this.
Sure.
But it's good to see you too, all 3 of you. She's just staring at Jet.
Cool. Yeah. That one and have you seen Jovi around?
No,
Okay.
you're the first sibling I've seen.
Okay. Well, he went out this morning. He said he was going to go bird watching, and he was supposed to be back by lunch. And he hasn't shown back up yet. So I was checking here to see if he was around, but I found you instead, which is, hey,
different. Welcome back, I guess, again. Do you want to go see mom and dad, or...
No, probably
All right,
not
never
right
mind. Okay. Do you want to help me find our brother?
now. Yes.
Okay.
Then I'll be I'll see Bober enough to go meet them.
I hope so. Yeah, probably. We should get you a water. Hey, Lark, you want to grab a water? Yeah, I got it. And Lark flies off.
Yeah, and then Jinx is just like that sudden realization of like, wait a minute, I have friends that I haven't introduced yet. So there's like this deadpan look, and then suddenly super hyper excited again. It's like, all right, I have friends. You gotta meet them, and reintroduces everyone.
I'll lean over to Reverie. I think we're being volunteered for something again.
I think you mean voluntold, but yes, I get your meaning.
I'll down the rest of my drink and turn to face Jinx's.
Reverie does the same.
I see we're going to be ready for whatever hits us. Hopefully nothing. We're just going to go look for this kid. Who are you all? Oh, you just introduced yourself. Sorry. It's great to meet you. You're all working for the king. Is that... Huh. Jinx, look at you.
And we're all friends.
Well, it was either that or coworkers, so...
Definitely friends.
Definitely.
And Jinx like nods and makes a big deal about being friends too. and that stereotypical the drunk person absolutely loves everyone in the room kind of way.
Good job, Jinx. These ones seem definitely better than the last ones. These ones
Yeah, these ones are
have
alive.
skin. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's great.
And it's all of the skin too. So
Yeah, the last ones didn't last too long. I had a bone to pick with them.
yeah, they got pretty stinky too.
Yeah, my patron didn't want them around too long.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
these ones look nice. So I'm glad you're back, Jinx.
Thanks.
It's been a while. Hey, let's go find our brother. And
Yeah,
he
we should do the
climbs
thing.
up. Okay, last I heard, I wanted to check here first just in case if he stopped by for lunch, but he was supposed to go to the Crystal Glade, which you know where that is. And so there is at the edge of the stream, which is a little bit off towards the east of the village, is the Crystal Glade, which is an opening of a meadow that is, well, has crystals that are jutting out of the ground. Jinx, you've been there a few times. It's a pretty nice place. It's right at the edge of the stream itself. And that's where you head next.
Awesome.
As a lot of you finish your drinks and follow Jet and Jinx past the city, past the Thule tree, and over towards the Crystal Glaive, where, let's see, there's a little path that travels through the forest. Again, this is one of the first smaller paths that you've really seen in this realm. Most of the pathways that we've been walking on have been very distinct. This is a traveling path. It is going from here to here. But this looks like it's more of a worn trail, which is interesting because the ones who live here are this big and fly. So what is causing the wornness of this trail is a question that you've, especially you, Baskin, thinking about on your way. As a lot of you end up looking towards this relatively large open space comparatively to what you've seen in the forest. It's about 50 yards of meadow that's flanked by these many, many oak trees and other types of maybe aspen trees and things like that. But the feature that really draws your eyes is in the middle, as there are, and you've seen them along the way, these green crystals that have been popping up from the ground. But the ones here stand several inches to several feet tall, as they are
just emerging from the ground. And they're not actively moving at the moment, but they do look like they have been jutted out in various different angles in this open space here. Looking around as you immediately walk into this general open space, about 10 feet before the opening to the meadow, you see a small backpack and a pair of shoes that are just kind of propped up in the dirt next to a tree. As Jet looks over, okay, well, I recognize that for sure. Jovi left wearing this morning. I don't know why he is taking off his shoes, but it's probably around here somewhere.
Seem an odd choice.
Do you want to just look around, or let's be sneaky? I don't hear anything right now, but
Can I do a nature check to see if I notice, like, anything that's off or disturbed or might indicate that
yes,
something unusual is happening here?
absolutely.
Sweet. 20.
Woof! All right. Taking a moment to just listen in, you hear that there are some noises, actually, that Jet did not pick up on. Noises that might have just been thought about as being background noises, but there are some things that stick out a little bit more than you're used to. There's rustling of branches and chirping of birds, but there's also the sound of snapping of twigs and breaking of branches. And as you listen in a little bit more, is that lightning and thunder? And is that a waterfall? You're hearing a lot of noises that are happening that aren't supposed to be happening. They're very faint from what you're hearing from where you are, but you're definitely catching noises that don't belong where they are.
Huh. So I'm hearing some strange noises. I'm wondering, there's like a waterfall and thunder and lightning. I wonder if maybe another Fey realm is like squishing in here or something, because yeah, those are weird noises. And also I hear like twigs and branches snapping and stuff, so we might not be alone out here.
Oh, maybe it's your brother.
I feel like that is going to be very unlikely. So, maybe we should get ready to kick something in its mouth.
As you're talking, Jet
sorry.
also pulls out their spear. Are we gonna fight something?
I mean, hopefully.
It seems to be what we're best at when things we're not expecting arrive.
Can I tell like the general direction those branch snaps and things are coming from?
Yeah, so this is coming from not the center of this kind of open space, but further away from the center than where you are. So not quite on the full other side of the trees line, but this is about 50 yards of open space, so about 25 to 30 yards forward from you.
Okay. I think I'm going to fly over towards it until I'm about 30 feet away from the sound. And then do gust. To like blow the leaves back and stuff and see if I can spot something.
Okay. Are you good and roll? Are you doing it stealthily or just flying over there?
Just flying over there and like I'm looking around, and then when I get within range, blow at the branches and the trees to see if I can kind of.
So, the noise isn't coming from the trees. It's still coming from it looks like behind some crystals. You just can't quite see where it is yet.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Probably won't do that then.
Yeah. So it's not in the trees. It is not quite at the tree line.
Okay.
But it is not at the end of. It's not at the end of the opening, but it is behind crystals. You can't quite see where it is yet, or what is back there.
Okay. In that case, I might do invisibility, and then slowly move over there to see if I can, see around the crystals.
Okay. As soon as you turn invisible, Jet immediately also turns invisible, and both of you go off in search. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
All right.
Each time that happens, I suspect she's not going to come back.
It's got a 17.
Okay. As you both fly up and survey the scene, it looks like in the middle of kind of not a full exact circle of crystals. There's a couple of different openings, but kind of in the center, there looks like a couple of birds that are standing around there. They look like they are bigger than you for sure, but not super, super large animals. And you are invisible, so as you get a little bit closer, it looks like there is one bird that is in the center that has this bright plumage on it. And it is kind of jutting around, making these very, very loud snapping of branches noises and sounds of lightning and sounds of a waterfall, as there are, it looks like 4 or 5 other less colorful birds that are standing around. And perched on top of one of the crystal spears on top is a sprite that you recognize all too well, very, very small. Your brother Jovi is watching this thing happen, just incredibly enthralled in this, what you can only assume to be is a mating dance happening in the crystal glade, as the two of you are floating above him.
Okay. I think Jinx will zoom over to right behind him and then just tap him on the shoulder while still invisible.
Okay. As soon as you do, you spook the hell out of this kid as he screams with this touch that has now just awoken him back up to reality. And as he yells out, the birds that are sitting there jump and they start. And the one that was doing this performance looks up as the 4 or 5 other birds run off and scatter. As the one in the middle that looked like it was doing its darndest looks around and the noise has subsided. As this bird looks up at you all and starts squawking really very, very loudly. It is pissed that you have startled this scenario. As it just jumps up and down, it's flapping its little arms. It cannot fly at you because it is too big on its 2 feet, but it is certainly doing its darndest again to try and jump up. You're about a yard up on this pillar of crystal, and it still can't quite reach you. The rest of you standing off to the edge, you see that there is this stream that actually comes up into almost not quite the full middle of the glade, but there's kind of this stagnant watery area that has some cattails and some lily pads on it as well that is just going off into the forest. It doesn't look like there's a lake here necessarily, but it looks like that this is the edge of the stream itself that is right here. And really, that has definitely attracted your attention at the same time.
Okay.
So this bird's yelling at you. And everybody else can hear it now. It's mad.
Jinx is visible now and is, again, like hovering in the air, but holding her stomach and laughing very hard, like doubled over with laughter. Has not really paid attention to the bird yet.
Jinx! Jet? Guys, what are you doing here? What the heck?
You should have seen your face.
That wasn't really nice.
Yeah, sorry.
And now look at him, he's so mad. Sorry, guy. Look at him next time.
It It was funny though.
Jinx! And he gives you a hug.
Jinx gives him a hug back too.
Okay. Jet, did you got? All right. Hi. Did you? What are you doing here?
So Jinx takes a deep breath and then goes into the like auctioneer speed talking summary of everything that's happened.
Just unloading everything on this very, very young kid.
Yep.
Wonderful. As you say that, eyes just. You're blowing this kid's mind. Man, he is ecstatic he's stoked on this whole story. And he's looking back at every single one of you. And you all really, you did all, oh my goodness. You guys are so cool.
One day I want to go out like you, Jinx, and do some cool stuff like that.
She sort of puffs her chest out a little bit. Just like, yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, you are. And you too, Bob. And you pats Bob on the head.
Bob appreciates it and does a little raven call quietly. But yeah, these are my friends. Like I mentioned, and like the cool stuff they did. Like Ruli and Boskin did this cool thing where Ruli got Boskin up into a tree and then he'd like pile drive down onto a werewolf's head. Really cool.
Whoa. That's just.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like
a peregrine falcon. When the peregrine falcon goes woo, and it grabs onto something and it just gets them real good.
Yeah.
Like a bird.
Kind of like that.
I really like the birds. That's why I'm out here. I'm looking at them. Well,
yeah, Jet.
Sorry, guy.
Jet was worried about you.
Yeah, where have you been? You were supposed to come back a while ago. Yeah, but I was watching some birds. They were doing some cool stuff.
And you see Jet does not really super love that answer.
Jinx gives him a pat on the back and is like, yeah, I don't really understand the whole passage of time thing either. It's okay.
I mean, it seems to be working out for you, so.
Right? Not always. It gets me in trouble a lot too, but what are you gonna do, I guess?
Where are the rest of you right now?
You said we were on the edge of the clearing here.
Mm-hmm. Have you moved from there, or
is the bird still making noise?
The bird is still not super happy. It looks like they are not giving it any attention at all, though, and it seems to be kind of running out of steam. But it's still squawking around a little bit, having not too good of a time.
Yeah, I think I'd just be like, hey, yo, hey, are you gonna stop? Just trying to get it to stop that noise in various bird languages until I try to find the right one.
After yelling at it a couple of times, it looks over as you squawk back and forth at this thing as it now takes just acknowledgement of you and is mostly just curious as it waddles over in your general direction. But it has stopped squawking. It's now heading over to where you all
are. My eyes will kind of get big and spark a little bit. Oh, am I getting a pet? Is this happening right now? We'll kind of crouch and be like, yeah, come closer. It's okay. And it's squawking language.
Okay. Are you trying to get this thing to make an animal handling check?
Do I even have animal?
I don't know.
I think I'm just talking to it. Let's see. I don't have any.
You can roll this at advantage because you are speaking its language.
Yes. So a 12.
Okay. As this thing is not the most confident, but it's still coming towards you. And it is cautiously waddling in your general direction as revelry. You notice from the corner of your eye, looking at the water, that there are a pair of eyes watching you. And a second pair of eyes. And a third pair of eyes that pop up as they sink back down into the water.
I don't suppose there's any way of guessing how big the things those eyes belong to.
You can make a nature check.
Oh, my nature's not going to be very good, but we'll see.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. The eyes that you saw, they look like they were not small. And in fact, at least one of the pairs looked like it had more of a, one was more of a flattish face and one was more of a pointed face. And you saw two different types of eyes actually in the water.
One thing I had been kind of wanting to do was you mentioned the trails. Obviously the sprites would not have made those. Could I roll like a perception check or something to see if there are any kind of tracks on the trails, like leading towards the water or anything, or would that be a nature check?
That would be a survival check. Yeah.
Oh, that's not great either. 6.
Yeah. As far as fresh tracks go, there's nothing particularly new here. There's a lot of slick mud, but there's not really even a lot of ground. It kind of just is cattails and is algae and is moss. So there's not a lot of like wet soil necessarily even, but you definitely don't see any new or recent tracks in this zone.
Who's close to me so I don't have to yell?
As you go up and start to look, though, you start to investigate the water itself. As out of the water splashes up and out a pretty big bluish creature that has a very pointed snout and just sharp teeth with a kind of purple ridge that goes all the way back down it, and this very long neck as this eel-like head bashes out of the water and bites at you. And that is not going to hit. You do dodge out of the way, but this thing is right here. And what you do about that, we're going to come back with next week. As you are, go and get attacked now. Maybe. We'll see.
Awesome.
Good job, guys. So we found your brother, and he is now a little bit in danger, but
It'll be fine. Jinx is only half drunk at this point. It'll be fine.
But when we come back, we are going to jump straight into this fight. And Jinx will have to do what you can.
That's going to be great.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll go on a raid here very shortly, but before we do, I want to give everybody a chance to say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, anything they'd like to share or plug, going in reverse order from how we started. So we'll start with Andy. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
What was my favorite part? I really like You're All Dynamic. When you were all like getting ready for bed was really, really cool. I liked all the different little things that everybody was doing to add some uniqueness to their long rests, to their sleeping schedules. And that's really, really cool to me. That was really nice. Where you can find me next is, as far as a TTRPG, right here next Tuesday. As far as streaming goes, I will be streaming on my channel tomorrow. And we're working through Horizon Zero Dawn right now. We are a little bit of the ways through it. On Thursday, we might be going into another Animorphs book we read last one was book number 6. I think we're getting into book number 7 starting this week. Next week, when I officially have my capture card, we'll be playing Pokemon on Mondays, and then back here again on Tuesdays. Again, follow me at Martinez Tweets, at Martinez Streams. We have the Patreon as well, Martinez Makes. So that's me. Let's go, Jinx. Raven, what do you got for us?
Awesome. Let's hop over to Anna next. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part, I think, was a tie between Basking committing to the tiny cup and Jinx just getting completely wasted before going to see her parents, like day drunk wasted. That was a nice touch. But yeah, I am Anna, aka Archival Thus Funny most places on the internet, queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at Archival Thus Fun. As far as where to find me, Sunday night you can find me on Guild of the Phoenix playing Cyberpunk Red. I play a very overworked medtech, desperately trying to keep a party with a death wish alive. As we go up against some corporations we probably shouldn't go up against. And then next week, in addition to here, you can find me on Weave the Tale as well, playing a game of Twilight 2000, which should be really interesting. And of course, if podcasts are more your thing, you can find me on Response Team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast, following a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines in the No Room for a Wallflower adventure setting. We have role-play focused characters and narrative first combat that's really unique take on the Lancer combat mechanics, while still maintaining those mechanics. Our newest episode dropped yesterday. We get to see some downtime and kind of a lull in the conflict. I'm not responsible for any hearts that are broken when you listen to the episode, but yeah, give us a shot. You can find us anywhere that you normally get your podcast and on Twitter at RT Omnicron. Yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Next, M, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I think my favorite part was, Jinx just having the zoomies around the bar. And I love Lark. I said it in Zoom chat, but I'm here like, oh my gosh, this is breaking Bendel stick. Just I think you said chat it's 420 all the time at this spot.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, that's really funny. That's great. You can find me at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist. I'm also in another game, Welcome to Madison, the second season. That's on the Black Feather YouTube channel. On Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time, I play a NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory scientist who is stuck in an alternate dimension with a lot of weird stuff going on, trying to figure out how to get home with a party of other people who are a lot less informed, and also trying to figure out what the heck's going on. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Next, we've got Goo Honey. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part was Ruli crawling out of the sleep bowl and kind of doing like the seal thing across the dirt and then come loose skinning. God, I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it was just awkward enough to be perfect for the moment. Besides that, I really like the dynamic of everyone together, especially as like Amir and Referee keep talking to the centaurs, and it becomes clear that I shouldn't talk to the centaurs. But I'm Goo Honey, also known as X the Transient. I'm the founder of Goo Honey Comics and a freelance illustrator focusing on character design and not safe for work art. You can find me on Twitter at X the Transient. My commissions are open right now there. You can also find me here on Tuesday nights playing Amira Ash, and on Friday with Emily in that Welcome to Madison show. I'll finally be on the first episode. I had something come up last week, but this week I'll be there, and I'll be playing a a COO of a pizza chain with a baseball bat fixation who may or may not be as human as she seems. And yeah, it'll be a good time.
Very cool. All right. And then next we've got Zan. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, well, I'm Zan. You can find me most places as Insanity TTRPG, where I post about mental health and gaming, and also all of the weird random stuff that I'm doing whenever it is that I'm doing them. I'm not into much at the moment, aside from the Faustian Nonsense Network podcast that's coming out fairly soon. You can, if you're gonna see anything from me, I've kind of been bitten by the creative bug lately, and I've got a couple of systems that I've been working on that I put down for a little while, and I'm trying to get something cohesive out of those. So you might see something from me in that regard here in the nearish future. You can also catch me probably around Valentine's Day over on Attack Rich channel doing our Bob's Burgers show on our kind of countdown to the best Bob's Burgers Valentine's Day specials. And yeah, I think as far as my favorite part goes, I just really loved the pun off. Like, I was having so much fun that I had to step away and just let other people do the. If y'all have watched this channel, y'all know that I am relentless in my puns, and I just want to make all the puns in the world, but I don't really think that's Baskin. So just having to take a step back and see everybody else thrive in that environment was such a delight. Yeah.
Making a tree blush.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's good stuff. I wanted to make some after the after everybody was talking about the clams, but I just figured I would clam up instead. Get pretty tight-lipped on the subject.
Oh, fantastic. That just leaves me. My favorite part. Oh, the whole thing was so good. It's really hard to pick a favorite part. I definitely love the way all these characters interact with each other. It's a lot of fun. The puns was absolutely a highlight for me as well. I'm a big fan of that style of humor, and anybody that is around me for any period of time knows that I usually make a lot of pun jokes and word plays. So that was just fantastic. But yeah, I loved all the NPCs as well. They're really cool. I really liked Lark. And Jet was pretty neat too, and Jovi. Yeah, all of it was really good. Even the guards that showed up for a little bit. All the NPCs were great. Amira's just being Amira. The slightly ominous, slightly creepy, but like still generally helpful demeanor is just like, it's the perfect balance, and I love it. The Reverie, by contrast, being like the tiefling rogue and seeming like the more normal character, quote unquote, is really funny. And then yeah, all the stuff with Ruli and with like the getting ready for bed and waking up, and Boskine talking to the Dryad. It was all fantastic. Where you can find me next, let's see, today is Tuesday. So Friday, YouTube Fridays, so we'll be over on the Black Feather Guild YouTube channel at noon Mountain Time. We'll finally be starting our Avatar game, based on Avatar: The Last Airbender. It'll be Avatar Before the Ice Melted. We've got a group which ended up being one character from each nation, which we didn't exactly plan it out that way when we started, so that was really cool how that turned out. We're going to be playing about 10 years before the events of Avatar: The Last Airbender, so before Aang gets out of the ice, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's using Magpie Games' Avatar Legends, I believe it's called. So that'll be noon Mountain Time on Friday over on our YouTube channel, and then 6 p.m. Mountain Time over on our YouTube channel on Friday will be Welcome to Madison. I'll be producing that. And then Saturday, of course, back here at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for more Animus Absentus. That's everything that we've got going on this week. Other things to share or plug. I wanted to mention one of the supplements that we used for this particular campaign, the Children and Champions of the Fae supplement for D&D 5th edition. There's a link to that in chat. It's pretty cool. I used it for the sprite ancestry for my character, and a couple of other of us have used some parts of it for this. It's worth checking out. And then the other things to check out are our sponsors, which are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system that's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game that you would like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. You can pick that up on Amazon if you want the physical book. It looks like this. Or if you prefer a PDF, you can grab that at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom of the screen. Also at coffee.com/raven, you can find the quick play guide. So it is just a real quick base mechanics version of the game that you can download for free and try out and see how you like it. And then if you enjoy it, you can grab the whole thing. So yeah, that's Fundamental RPG. Also go check out Die Hard Dice. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories over at dieharddice.com. If you use the code FUNRPG in all caps, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And I highly recommend checking out the Embers Kazan set. See if the camera can pick up the scales on this thing. They're really pretty. They're a nice heavy metal set. They've got these little scales on them like dragon scales. I highly recommend checking that out. There's a link right there in chat. And then if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.fantasy.network or over on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Black Feather Guild and it should pop right up. And I think that's everything. We're going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Nerdsmith, or We Are Nerdsmith. Really fantastic channel and network. Highly recommend giving them a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all on Friday over on YouTube. Bye, everybody.